Assalamu alaikum class, welcome to online lecture number 15. Today's lecture topic is about class constructor. So we were discussed our previous lecture which was about the inside and outside class function representation. I hope you go through that lectures and you have a good concept over class and functions now. So if you are not getting my points in video tutorial, so you may also contact me and our Saturday live session also you can raise questions there. So C++ constructors, what are constructors? A constructor in C++ is a special method that is automatically called when an object of a class is created. So constructor is just like a method means function, but it is different from function. One thing keep in mind, it is different from the function. And second thing is, it is automatically called when an object of a class is created. So this is the what C++ constructor is. We can say its definition. Clear? So to create a constructor, use the same name as the class. Keep in mind that the constructor and class name should be the same, followed by a parenthesis. Okay, then now we will discuss how it is different from the function. So normal member function. So how constructors are different from a normal member function, we will see. A constructor is different from normal function in the following ways. Constructor has the same name as the class itself, number one difference. Constructor don't have the return type, like you do not need to write void, int, float, string before the constructor name, or that name is like class name. Clear? Number third point is a constructor is automatically called when an object is created. So like two videos in my previous video, if you will see how we call the member function of a class, so it is like we have to create object, then with the dot operator we are going to call their member. So in constructor we will call members automatically when our object is created, only object is created. So I will show you an example how it is works. Okay, what is our final point? If you do not specify a constructor, C++ compiler generates a default constructor for us, expects no parameter and has an empty body. So by default it will create a constructor, so that is responsible for our which takes no parameters and have empty body, so like it is nothing. Okay, so there are three types of constructor. One is default constructor, which do not need to write it, like it has no parameter, no body. And one is parameterized, which we will discuss in this lecture. And one is copy. Copy is also I didn't mention here. So just we have to focus on the parameterized, that how constructor will take the parameters and that parameters will be given by the user like programmers, so that will become the argument, as I told you in the function lecture. Okay, yes, as I pick the name the slide comes constructor parameters. Constructor, so why not I will discuss the first example of the constructor and later will show you about the constructor. Yeah, so it is necessary to discuss about before discuss the parameterized constructor. I will show you an example that how the constructor is to be created and called automatically. So as you have seen the library function using MS with std. So here from here to here we have a class definition. Class is the keyword which we are used to use for the class declaration, and this is the my class is the class name. What is public? Public is access specifier. We will discuss in next video. Yes, we will discuss access specifier in the next lecture. And here my class is the class name and this is the constructor. So method or function will take the data type here, return type here, but the constructor and the function is differences here that you do not need to write here data type. So you are now familiar with the difference between the function, method and constructor. So here we have a constructor created, here we have the statement inside the class. So we just closed our constructor body, which is start from here to here. Whenever an object is created, this constructor will be called automatically. So we do not need to call its member or its definition with the help of the dot operator. And now we have a enclose our class body here. So we have a main function. So how we call our object is you're very familiar that the class name is here. My object, this name will be user defined, then this could be anything. So whenever we create, not create but just create the object, and the method is to write the class name and the object name. That object name is user defined. So inside the class we have a constructor. It will be called automatically. We do not need to write that my object dot these parameters, these body. Clear? So that is why constructor is useful and constructor is used in this way. So let me show you how this example is working in the C++. So after this example we will see that how we will create the parameterized constructor. We write the project name constructor. So after written this program in developer C++, we will execute and compile. So here you will see the hello world will be printed out. Why it is printed out? Because we have just do this with the help of constructor, not with the help of method. So whatever inside the constructor, in the next example we will show the parameters here, and this is without parameter example. So from this example you will familiar how the constructor is to be created, called, and what is the purpose of constructor. Clear? Okay, now we are moving towards our next topic, which is related to constructor parameters. So constructor can also take parameters just like regular functions, which can be useful for setting initial value for attributes. So the following class, in the next example we have a brand, model and year attributes. Like in the previous examples we have discussed the brand, model and year, and a constructor with different parameters. Inside the constructor we set the attributes equal to the constructor parameter. Brand is equal to x, etc. Okay, I will show you how. Maybe theoretically you will be confused, but in the example you will get clear. When we call the constructor by creating an object of the class, we pass parameters to the constructor which will set the value of the corresponding attributes to the same. So I will show you how it is happening in the class. So let me discuss this example in the developer C++ so that you will be familiar with the output as well as theoretical part. So here we will see how the constructor will get the parameters and will understand how it takes a parameters. So hash include iostream using namespace spd. This is the class keyword which is used to create the class, and this car is the user defined name, and this is the class name. So inside the call we have a public access specifier. As I told you what is access specifier, but we will discuss in next lecture briefly. Okay, so inside the class we have a three attributes and methods. I have discussed you in our class lecture. If you are not clear, you can go there. Okay, this is the string is the data type, brand is the variable name, string is the data type, model is the variable name, integer is the data type, year is the variable name. So car have how many parameters? It will take string x, string y and integer z. But sorry, this is not a class, this is the constructor which is going to take the parameters. Means it will take these three inputs and will return what it will return. It will return the brand x, what will be the brand x, what will be the model y, and what will be the year. So model will be returned, year will be returned, and brand will be returned. This is the definition of the constructor. Definition means what it will print it out when it gets the arguments in the form of parameters. So this constructor will take three parameters, and we will see how user will give them the parameters arguments. So we have a main function here. Now you can see car is the class name and car object is the object. We just created object. Now how this constructor will be automatically called if we fulfill all its criteria, like it takes the three parameters. So we have to give them three parameters according to our data type. Like it will take first string data type which is BMW. It will again take string data type which is x5, and it will take again integer data, that is 1999. These three values will be assigned here, and subsequently will be assigned to brand, model and year. Clear? X, Y and Z will be brand, model and year will be equal to X, Y and Z. This is what constructor wants. Its definition. Okay, so we give the constructor what it wants. Just we write the class name and create the object and give the arguments which constructor wants. Now that three will be automatically printed out. So what we now need to print it out? We need to print it out car object dot brand. That brand we want, that is X, and that X is BMW. Car object 1 model and car object year, and these two will be similarly be called. So we will see and run these, and we'll show you the printed out result. Here we have the printed out result. So in this way the constructor will take the parameters and show the output. Clear? If you are not clear, then I will elaborate you more. So for time being, for topic wise, you have to keep these things in your mind. Okay, coming back to the slides, and now we are discussing inside and outside the constructor. Like before we discuss the functions inside and outside the class body, and same as constructor we have these concepts. Just like functions, constructor can also be defined outside the class, is I have shown you in our example. So if you want to get that lecture, you can go there. Now first declare the constructor inside the class, and then define it outside the class by specifying the name of the class, followed by the scope resolution operator, followed by the name of the constructor, which is the same as the class. So it is same, there is no difference. So this example will again discuss in the developer C++, and we will run this again. So the example is same, output is same, but a little modification inside and outside the class. So we have a class car here, these have the attributes, this is the our constructor declaration. So we are just declare constructor here, but in the previous example we have the brand is equal to X, and we have the model is equal to Y, and we have the integer is equal to Z, sorry, year is equal to Z. So but here we just declare our constructor inside the class body, and we have a class construction definition outside the class. So what is the procedure is to just write the class name, and we have the scope resolution symbol, and then we have the constructor calling like same, clear. And then we have the constructor body opening here, brand is equal to X, model is equal to Y, and year is equal to Z, and then we enclose our bracket, and then we have a same procedure in the main. Then just main we have just create the write the class name and create the object, and then give the parameters to the constructor as it is required, and just we have to print the values. So if we will run this program, it will show you the same output, just a different representation. Then we can declare it inside the class, but define it outside the class body, clear. So I hope you will have a better understanding now about the class constructor. So in the next lecture we will discuss about the access specifier. Okay, Allah Hafiz.